distinctive features. Opposition in a system can be defined based on the actual bird score in three ways. Segments are in multilateral opposition if there is more than one phonetic property that differentiates them. For example, in languages like Korean, the plosive system always has three voiced and aspirated members, the voiceless plosive, and the closest aspirated and voiceless plosive aspiration. There are two distinguishing characteristics: plus or minus voice and aspiration, so that a multilateral opposition of an opposition can be said to be proportional if the relationship between its member is identical to the relationship between members of another opposition or several other oppositions in the system. The difference between "tur" and "der" in English is identical to "ker" and "ger" in English. So we have a proportional relationship between which can be defined as isolated opposition if no other segment is in the same relation. In the language, for example, the opposition between alveolar approximation and alveolar lateral consonant in English is isolated because no other segment is standing in the same opposition. Opposing members can also be defined based on their relationship or opposition. In a privative opposition, one member carries phonetic properties that the other members do not have. In other words, privative opposition. He defined these three groups of features: primary class features vowel, features consonant, features, and secondary articulatory features. Jacobson's acoustic characteristics in detail. Now, the first group of features that Jacobson defined is called primary class features. They have been introduced into English. This is the main class of consonant vowel segments and somewhat between liquid nasal and gliding. However, there is disagreement about number and type of main class features. Jacobson introduced consonant and nasal features later, as we will see further features added. So, in Jacobson's approach, all vowels are given main class features. Advanced sound evolved of primary constriction that allows air to flow through the mid-sagittal region of the vocal tract. The sound produced with continuous occlusion is defined as continued then vowel glide fibers and fricatives plus continued closes and lateral. English sound pattern approach is taken over from Jacobson. For example, the advanced and sonorous features, whereas continuous correlates with the distinction between plosives and non-plosives in general. The sonorous feature differentiates noisy fricatives from less noisy consonants, and later Chomsky and Hell added a feature delayed release which was introduced to differentiate regular plosives from African consonants. The coronal features you can see here refer to the activity of the plates. This tongue involves all the sounds produced between the teeth and the roof of the mouth, or the alveolar area. For the distinctive features too, we examine different approaches to the definition of traits from a historical perspective. In this follow-up selection, we will discuss the system of distinctive traits today. Let's start by looking in detail at the most popular systems of distinguishing features today. Characteristics are a limited set of phonological segments that are considered as part of universal grammar, a set of principles. Language that all humans share with its inherent distinctive features are associated with single-valued, unary, or binary values and are based on conventions and enclosed in square brackets are generally based on Jacobson's definition of acoustic features and on the sound patterns of the English approach as defined by Chomsky and Hawley. Where there is a relatively simple formula for calculating the number of characteristics. For a given set of items, this formula says take the square root of and which means that the number of items you want to define produce an integer value, and at the number 1, there are two examples to find out the number of features we need to distinguish 16 main vowels. We have to take the square root of the number 16, which of course for an integer the value of 4 is also 4. Then we add 1, so this result is 5.